morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, good morning, good morning. You are listening to Community Heartbeat presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show. This is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. We in here already acting up.
Already.
It ain't even 7 o'clock,
Right.
and we in here acting up.
Actually, it was six. What time she get here, Jermaine?
In the morning.
6 in the morning.
6:59. She wrote in about 6:59.
6:59 and 33 seconds.
But that 33 is what's gonna get it.
See, but why you coming here like Otis?
Ain't nobody come see you, Otis. Ain't nobody come see you, Otis.
Listen,
she came in through the ceiling.
Always on set. You know I'm gonna be there. Okay. I know I'm gonna be there.
Right.
You know we all because we professional.
Hey, Adebo, was she like Bobby Brown was when he quit New Edition?
Yeah. She went solo.
Yeah, she was solo.
She went solo
on the crew.
Listen,
she came in a whole different outfit. We in black. She come in different.
Gotta
that leather on.
Got a little bit of
leather make you do some things that you don't normally do. You know?
But it keeps your heart pumping.
Yeah, but it make you move different. You know, you move a little different when you got that leather on. You know,
yeah, man.
Listen,
you know,
that's because your weather does not know what it wants to do.
I'm telling you, they can be out here in earmuffs, shorts.
I scraped ice off.
Earmuffs and shorts.
You be confused, man. Earmuffs, shorts, and tube socks.
Listen. I love a good tube sock moment.
Ebony, I was looking at your itinerary, man. It's sexually transmitted disease awareness.
Listen.
You got a bunch of stuff going on.
Yourself tested, so we're gonna get all into that because you can't just be out here
fire. You out here on fire.
You got to.
I was looking at that. It's so much stuff in there, man. You can't. It's like April is National Volunteer Month, National Public Health Week, Infant Immunization Week, Medicaid Awareness Month, Sexually Transmitted Disease Awareness Week, Black Maternal Health Month.
It's all of that.
April got all that going on, man.
And you know what? April is also home to a national holiday. Do you know what the national holiday
must be your birthday? Must be your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Oh,
shout out to the Aries.
No, my mom's birthday is Sunday, the 13th.
Ooh.
So happy birthday to you, Mom.
Last week. So happy birthday to me.
Oh, no wonder you coming here with the leather on.
Yeah,
she had a birthday.
Let me tell you what I do for my birthday though, because this is grown folks when you're an adult. Every birthday year, so like my birthday and then half birthday, dentist appointment. Yeah. Got to get in there, get your teeth clean.
You had to tie health in there some kind of way, didn't you?
I do, because listen, that's the only way I will remember. Yeah. Your annual physical and check your credit. Happy birthday to me. That's some real adult. Like it ain't always.
I thought you would say like change the battery in your smoke detector.
No, that's Thanksgiving.
No, man, though you supposed to hear the beep when you sleep, man.
You're not supposed to hear that beep. That beep in your battery low.
To go and change the battery in your
If you hear that beep, that battery is low.
Listen, man, that's how black people sleep.
No, it is not.
I know, man. It's like having a fan in the window.
But am I right, Ebony? When if you're hearing the beep, the battery low.
The battery is low. Okay. Please go check it.
Okay.
And you can get apps now. You can listen, and this is why.
So you thought that when you hear the beep, that everything good.
No, well, I knew that's how black people sleep.
Hood rich,
you know.
It's hood rich.
So you gotta take the,
what we gonna do with it?
We're not doing it.
You gotta put in the half dead battery.
No,
and go to sleep.
And you know it's in the junk drawer. You know this right. The battery.
Right.
Yeah, in that drawer in the kitchen.
That's the one you took out last year. You put it back in.
You put it back in so you go to sleep.
Instead of throwing it in the trash,
man,
you put it in that drawer. Oh, here's a battery right here. You pop that one back in.
Yes, that battery is older than you.
And that's how you make. That's how you end up on the news.
Standing outside.
But like I thought the beat me.
Ebony, now that's a fire. Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's a fire.
Hide your kids. It's a fire.
I hate how we go viral, man. That just, because I'm a part of it. I want to see it. But yes, get your smoke detector.
No, man, I was just joking.
Make sure it's all good. The beep is no go.
Yeah,
the beep is no bueno.
The beep don't mean go to sleep. The beep means change the battery.
Right. Get up and change that damn battery.
Yeah.
And if it's your birthday coming up, happy birthday. But use that as an opportunity to go get yourself checked out. Now look, if we operate like machines, we got to make sure things are operating efficiently, which is why that STI is on there. Listen. If you're gonna be outside, I'm gonna use
You're gonna be out there operating like a machine.
Yeah, because
get yourself checked.
You never know when your mama's listening. So if you're outside in your vehicle,
you think your mama might be listening? You think mom might be listening?
Yeah, well.
I'm just trying to clean that up just best she can.
Look, my mom is real though. She's like, look, first of all, but I'm not gonna do that because we're on the radio and it's sponsored by, you know. So I'm gonna keep it PG and PC. If you're outside and your vehicle's just driving on the road, make sure you're protected. Make sure you know what that landscape looks like, and don't just be driving on every road.
Yeah.
Okay, she really tying that in.
You got to be specific where you turn and where you.
Yeah, watch some potholes. Watch some potholes.
Man, watch some potholes. Yeah, reverse. So
do something else.
So for me, man, I'm the CEO, man.
Yeah.
I'm the CEO of the Wrap It Up campaign.
Listen, the best thing to come out of the 90s, was like the safe sex movement.
Wrap it up.
Like wrap it up.
Yeah.
Don't know love without a glove. Just saying, we had it good. With that, I went because I'm working on some music, working on a big project here. Y'all remember Naughty by Nature?
Come on,
yeah.
Naughty by Nature. What happened to Naughty by Nature?
Down with OPP?
Like, right? But no, Hip Hop Hooray, Feel Me Flow.
Yeah.
The whole so I'm working
Trent
on
was just here though.
Really?
Yeah, for the Jason Lyrics play.
He was in that play.
He was in the play. See? Hold on, man. Hey, man.
I mean, hi, Trey.
See.
No, that's Peppa's man, right? They still,
Ooh.
yeah. I'm just, but you know it's true. That's Peppa's.
Well, which one of them was left-eyed? Ain't that the one that set the building on fire?
That was Andre Johnson.
Yeah.
Andre Rison.
Andre Rison.
What is he doing?
You done named him Andre Johnson.
Hey, man, he needs to be Johnson. He ain't rising.
Hey,
that cat house burnt to the ground.
Listen, we gonna do it.
That's all right. He helped us get that championship with Reggie White.
Sure did.
He came in for that one season and did what we needed to do.
And then he got his house burnt down.
Lord,
yep.
Listen,
she burned it down.
We also went through. But did y'all watch the documentary? Did you see what she said about it?
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. What did she say?
Was fighting and,
so she had set his stuff on fire before.
Yeah.
And so she was mad again, filled the tub up. I guess they got the tub replaced and it just set the house on fire.
Tupac came by there that day.
Did you shut up? Tupac
no, seriously. No.
What was Tupac doing in the story?
Because Tupac was hanging, if you listen to the story, Tupac was hanging with Andre. And that was what the whole thing. She didn't really like Andre hanging with Tupac because they was partying a lot. So you can actually
Tupac
look it up.
Tupac was the man.
Yeah.
Well, okay, wait. Was this East Coast Tupac?
Yeah.
Or was this West Coast Tupac?
Yeah, this was the East Coast Tupac.
Okay. Because they're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, East Coast was more activism and things.
Yeah.
And then when he signed with Suge, he became gangster.
Right.
But the Machiavelli also had a moment.
Come with me.
It had a moment. Listen, Ebony has layers.
This week in your health.
Y'all didn't think right. Listen, so hey Tretch, listen. Let me tell you, I'm about to tie this back in, and if you watch it, that smile, because we had videos back then. Tretch was like a health guru, right? He was like, do the sit-ups, and I'm like, yeah. What that man right there said, you should go and do that. But I will tell you what else I did this week. I put the Fugees CD back in rotation. The compact disc.
Come on now.
The compact disc of The Score came back.
Lauren was with the Fugees, wasn't she?
Lauren was with the Fugees. And listen, if any of my brothers from back in the neighborhood are listening, I just knew I was going to be a rapper. I knew we were going to have a group. And I knew I was gonna be the Lauryn Hill.
You don't even look like a rapper.
I got bars. Please believe.
You have
I got bars.
You look like you have no ability to rap.
That's where the things get a little hairy. But I do. I have bars. Yeah. And I just got but yeah, I can't tie that into health. So if you have dreams, don't let them be delusions. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Or illusions either.
Hey, cut it out. So yeah, Naughty by Nature. Let me just get this thought out though. There's a commercial series that's running right now. I think it's Starbucks that's using all the old rap songs. And I'm like, do they even know what this song is about?
Nah, 9 times out of 10.
I don't believe that they do. So you got to make sure you plugged in. You can't just be out here being random. So Debo, get us back on schedule. Yes, April is.
This hour is brought to you by Outreach Community Health Centers.
You know, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. No, so April is full. Not only is it a national holiday, Ebony's birthday, but it is National Volunteer Month. So let me just pause to say to all the people that pack goodie bags, to all the people that help us sort merchandise for those without homes, thank you. Because you don't have to. People don't have to spend their time with you. And when they do, you appreciate it. So shout out to all the volunteers in all those capacities. We appreciate you. It is also Public Health Week. And listen, the executive orders, every time I come in here, I'm like, there's more executive orders, there are more things going on. But I think now we're starting to see how we're all connected, right? So this past weekend, I was in St. Louis for a conference, and it's about 4,000 of us in one place. And my thought is, all it takes is just a couple people to be not well. And that's going to reverberate through the community, right? Reverberate, because she in the leather today.
Yeah, she put one of them words out there, man.
Right. So when that goes through our community, we suffer, right? What's the saying that when America sneezes, black folks catch a cold?
Did you check out the screen?
Let me see.
I got the thing matching your leather.
Oh Lord, have mercy! Yeah, it's just a little leather something because it's cold.
We got it matching.
Don't know what it's supposed
so
to
now
be
the
doing.
caption is matching you. It's all about you today.
Coordinate. You got to
for your birthday.
You got to coordinate.
SsALI.
Is what you got to do. Right out. You on some nonsense this morning.
I ain't saying nothing.
Breakfast, right?
Hey,
what?
I'm over here pushing buttons. I ain't saying nothing. I
don't know.
What
nothing.
Did y'all give me?
You usually have a poached egg and what else do you have in the morning? Poached egg and what?
And a little hash brown, but
cheese, eggs, and Welch's cream.
Nah, and I try to stay away from the cheese in the morning.
That was a reference to Mr. Christopher Wallace, the only Christopher we acknowledge.
Biggie. Oh, I love it when they call me Big Papa.
Yeah. I mean, the 90s were a time to be alive. So if I'm going down that vein, because, you know, we're going to be a little sassy in here this morning because I got the leather on. Do we feel like we were healthier in the 90s than we are now?
We didn't care in the 90s.
No.
But and when you speak to now, because we're aging, we begin to be more health conscious as to how we can stay here and what we need to do to prolong our lives.
But I feel like everybody was doing something positive. Everybody was doing something healthy. Yeah. Speaking from like the fashion side, right? So you had women with the stirrup pants, right? We tried to be fit. We tried to be the tennis.
It was fashion. It wasn't about being fit then. It was more fashion, I think.
But I feel like it was because you had the crop top
and you had more people outdoors, outside in the parks, outside, you know, playing and things like that.
We gonna pull up to the basketball court just to look around.
I remember, you know, being at Lincoln Park.
Y'all know nothing about
11
Lincoln
o'clock
Park
at night, and then that bell go off. When that light go off, you run into that pole to push
This is a moment.
Yeah.
This is a culture moment. Yeah. Let you be close to the button and don't
come on and don't like push the button. Yeah.
Shout out to my Lincoln.
So you know about it, huh?
I do. I used to hoop. Listen.
Come on now.
Bam. I got a little something. I got a little something. So that's why I say you can't assume
that bell get the ring.
The rap used to play basketball a little bit in the park. And then I realized, I like playing basketball in the park in the summer when it's hot.
It was fun.
But yeah, sundown at Lincoln Park, the bell goes off. You must hit the button to keep the lights on. And if you didn't, I think you had like 30 seconds and the lights would go out. So it was a time. That was a cultural moment. Do you remember Warning?
Of course. I played in Warning. I played in Warning at the Tot Lot. You know, we had games at the Tot Lot. We had games at Garden Home.
Look at here. Parkman. I mean, it was a time. It
brought back memories. But you know what? It's crazy that we having this conversation because I was telling somebody that we will never see these times ever again.
Why not, though?
And that's so crazy.
Well, why not? Why can't we bring it back?
I think because the people mindsets are just different now. Like even
hours.
Even when you ride past the courts in the summertime, like you see, it ain't packed how it used to be.
It used to be.
It used to be packed and people waiting on the sideline to play, and
right.
you know, man. Now it's like, you know, it's the fear of violence.
Yeah.
It's the fear of
yeah,
you know, just all type of stuff happening. So now, this whole generation is more geared towards computers and you know, staying inside and electronics and that whole video games and that whole thing.
Nah, I mean you're right. You're right. I mean, we probably would never get together like that. But man, it was a time.
It was a time. And it's like that generation after us, you know, we can tell them about it, but they'll never really know because they won't experience how in that summer, you know, those summer days that it's warm outside, and hey man, we going to the park, and you walking down the street going to the park, and everybody meeting at the park, and even people that you didn't know, you still embraced them, and y'all became friends because it was through hooping.
True story. True story.
Just now things is just
different.
You know, different. Like we would never see those times again.
I miss those times.
Yeah,
we old heads now. Yikes. But no, it was a time. Lincoln Park, then you had the swimming pool on the other side. So don't let it be hot.
So everybody used to rush to them joints, man.
Yeah. So where do the kids go now? It's summertime. If they want to be out, because we had the teen clubs were popular back then. Being out in the parking lot. Yeah. Again, if you're gonna be outside in the second hour, we're gonna talk about why you need to be wrapping it up. To keep yourself safe out in these quote unquote streets. Right. But TLC brought that, you know, the safe sex movement with the condoms on the fashion. You had to wrap it up. What a time. It
just seems like, you know, even like with the house parties and you know, going to house parties that like it'd be like a stranger party and people just meeting up, and there was no drama, there's no shooting, no fighting. Like you'll just hear about a party and pull up, and you don't know nobody there, but you there, you know, you and your guys, and you kicking and meeting new people.
Put your number on this page.
Listen, me and my boy Chad Roper. C note if you listen.
Oh my God!
Listen, man, we used to walk. Chad. Man, listen, we used to go down to Summerfest and Afrofest.
Man, listen.
But we had a notebook.
You ain't had a notebook.
We had a notebook, and we would walk up to girls and we try to talk to them.
Who could get
and we'll have to put their name and number under each book. Listen. And at the end of the night, we had like 4 or 5 pages full of numbers, front and back. It's
all I'm saying is this. I've been competitive. You're not leaving the party with more numbers.
I'm telling you, listen, we used to go at it. And then we get in the car like, bro, how many numbers you get?
Him, but he just gonna cross it out. I was just playing when I got there. I just want to see if I.
Oh, so y'all used to do it too, huh?
See if I still, of course.
Wow, that's crazy.
Listen, the Nike sandals and the tennis skirt.
Oh my God.
Okay, the ebony nameplate.
Oh, they used to get me.
Okay? And that little side pony. That little side pony with the curls. Stop killing them. If you were around in the 90s, good morning.
Hey, but you know what? It's crazy because those was the good old days. But after a while, the times that we're living in now, these times are going to be the good old days.
Can you imagine?
And if these going to be the good old days, we in trouble.
No, we in big trouble. Like Nova, for real.
This hour is brought to you by Outreach Community Health Centers.
Bring it back. But for me, it's all connected. Because look, I feel like now these teens don't have like safe spaces to try stuff out. Yeah. Like that was our crew. We had our little music group. So after I realized the basketball wasn't gonna play, I thought maybe we could come up with a singing group because that was the thing. You had Jade back then. You had who else? Of course, Destiny's Child.
Yeah, SWV.
Yeah. But we had like positive interactions with each other. That was the thing. It was like you could sit for hours with these people, and that was your crew. Yeah. And you were on something positive. And if you were slipping, people would let you know that too. Like they would be like, "Nah, that's probably not gonna work." I also at the time loved me some Brandy. Right, like that was probably my go-to, my very top artist in the world in my life at that time was Brandy.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
Still my girl. Shout out to Brandy and all the things that are happening here. but she was always just so positive, so effervescent. So when I did get to meet her a couple years back, I'm like, Brandy, listen, you need to know how you brought a whole generation of girls to womanhood. So shout out to you.
That was the first R&B beef.
Listen, Brandy and Monica.
That was the first R&B beef.
There was no beef.
Man, please.
You can't beef with first place. Don't do that.
But
I mean, I love Monica too. Listen, I love Monica too. Let me not pit two black women against each other. But the vocal Bible is the vocal Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, the vocal Bible is the vocal
Grand risings to you from Jackie Clark. She's got you tuned in on the stream.
Hey, Miss Jackie. How you be? Oh, that's my Jackie. Hey, Jackie. See, I had to keep it clean.
Miss Barbara says, great Friday morning to you.
Hey, Miss Barbara. Good morning. Good morning. I'm glad y'all waking up. We're just chit-chatting in here about the olden days for us, right? So give us our 5 minutes. We had to listen to all the stories of our parents and our aunties and all them. So just give us our 5 minutes about the good old days.
So, Debo, how was it going to school with Moses, Peter, and Paul?
It was different, man.
Man.
Here come trouble.
That's not right. That's not right. I didn't know. No, so let me just shout out before we go to the first break. Let me shout out some other things that are happening at Outreach. Got to get back on my game here. And then I'm excited for our studio guest. She'll be with us after the break. So coming up, Outreach has immunizations, vaccinations still going on. So come in and get your vaccination, especially MMR. We're going to talk about measles in just a minute too. It's harm reduction. We have a new program that launches every Tuesday. So again, if you know somebody that's suffering with drug addiction, substance use, we have a new workshop for them. That's every Tuesday. Detective dinner coming up on June 26th. So we talked about that a little bit last show.
Do we get an invite for that?
Of course. Too? Listen, I'm gonna make sure y'all get the VIP treatment for that, for real, because I'm on video now. No.
You were on video last time too, just so you know.
I got something for that, Debo.
No, the video will be there. Y'all look at it's happening. June 26th. On July 27th, we will be joining Matthew Johnson at his 5K. And of course, the Community Health and Resource Fair on August 9th. So make sure you stay connected. Coming up, we got a legend in the studio. Y'all know I love me some living legends. So we got a living legend in the studio. Introduce you to her in just a sec, or I should say present. They already know. You're listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show. This is a movement dedicated to bringing our communities together through wellness. I'm EBONY SsALI. We'll be right back.
That soul-stirring gospel Easter bash is going to be a bash you don't want to miss at Abundant Face, located at 7830 West Good Hope Road. The Captain Spirituals. Come on now, Spencer Taylor and the Highway QCs. The fabulous Luckett Brothers. Pastor Tim Rogers and the Phillips is going to be in the house. Bishop Neil Robeson, Reverend R.L. Bush and the Revived Church. Willie Rogers, Tiffany Terry, Willie Banks Jr. and the Messengers. Curtis Eubanks. Now get your tickets at the Newton's Mortuary. Call 414-444.
Welcome back to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our community together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. I'm EBONY SsALI, joined in the studio by living legend Wanda Montgomery. Let me just, can I get a little applause on that one? Can I just get a little, because the world needs to know that this living legend is here in the studio. Okay? Let me tell you, for those of you that have been, again, living under a rock, I'm here to enlighten. Okay. Wanda Montgomery has dedicated her life to the pursuit of excellence in the fields of child education, child welfare, and community engagement. She received a Master of Science in Educational Policy and Leadership from Marquette University, a Bachelor of Science in Community Education from UW-Milwaukee, and has spent decades putting knowledge into action in her professional career and community involvement. Wanda Montgomery, Board President Emeritus of the Black Child Development Institute. Yes. Wisconsin. Yes. Woo! Wisconsin. Welcome to the show, Wanda Montgomery.
Well, thank you for that introduction. And good morning to you and to Jermaine and to Debo, and happy birthday. You know, I listened on my way in.
We were cutting
and as I told him, I said, all that y'all was talking about, that was before my time.
Yeah, right.
And if I knew about it, it's gone now, because I got too many other things on my mind.
Yeah.
The Fugees and Lauryn Hill. You know, what I hear about Lauryn Hill right now is that she don't show up.
It's true.
But you know what? Yeah. Somebody said that about Lauryn Hill, and there was they did VH1, I think, did a special with all the ladies, and one of the rappers said something like, "They make fun because you're late, but for us, you were right on time."
Well,
and I was like, that's the truth. So Lauryn Hill brought a lot of young women out of that. As we were talking, there was some shenanigans going on back in the day. Wanda, we was cutting up just a little bit.
Listen, I watched, because I got children your age, so you know they had to hide some stuff from me.
But Lauren taught us, you know, pull your skirt down a little bit, act like you got a little bit of class. You know, you could still be sassy and rock your things, but take pride in being a woman. So shout out to Lauryn Hill too, because we were going down a path. So part of bringing up those conversations were the idea that we had safe spaces to grow up as kids, right? We had groups where we were protecting each other, making sure we didn't make bad decisions. Kids nowadays don't necessarily have that, do they?
No.
What's happening with our babies?
You know what? I don't know the exact or pinpoint, but what I will tell you is there are people in this community that want our children to have experiences like we did. Not just your generation, but my generation, the generation after you. But you know how that happens? We as adults have to create those spaces. We can't be afraid. A lot of us are afraid of our children. When we were coming up, it wasn't just my mother.
It was
father. Everybody was my mama.
You could get snatched by anybody.
They knew who you were.
Yeah.
Oh, you Percy and Bessie.
Yeah.
Come
on over here.
That's right. And if before I got home, my mother knew it. So if I got pulled up by the neighbor, then I got pulled up by my mother.
Yes, indeed.
And then we were also connected in the church.
Also,
that is a foundation that many of us in this room, we have a foundation in the church. And a lot of us have put the church aside until we need it. Then we call on the church. But you know, it's like anything, you have to invest in what you want to be able to draw from.
Got us right together. You came in here gathering us right together. No, I love that. So tell me this. You've dedicated your life to babies, and specifically Black babies, making sure that they grow up healthy and well. What started that passion?
My mother.
Okay.
We grew up in a family. First of all, there are 9 children. Woo! And if you got 9 kids, it
That's
takes
a little squad right there.
It takes something. But my mother always provided a safe environment for us. She didn't work until later in her life. So she was home with us.
Okay.
And that made a difference. But when she did start to go to work and go to school, she brought people into our home that she trusted first.
Yeah.
You vetted them. And I remember we had a babysitter at one point that came in, and my mother's a very spiritual woman. And babysitter came in and she taught us all how to play cards.
Ooh-wee.
And when my mama found out, it was like,
you got it right together.
Yeah. But so that kind of started me, the importance of raising your children, but also the community.
Yeah.
How do we give back? How do we make sure that all children have what we have? We weren't wealthy, but love and support, and having the things that we needed, not always what we wanted, but the things that we needed were there. So that kind of started me on the path. But what I will tell you, fast forward, and we'll talk about some of this. The organization that I'm a part of, Black Child Development Institute, Wisconsin, we currently have 8 essential outcomes that we've identified. And I'm just going to run through them quick.
Do it. Look, let me get my pen.
Right. It's that every child is born at a healthy weight. 2, lives and plays in a safe community. 3, is seen as a child. 4, breathes clean air and drinks clean water. 5, has books and toys that reflect who they are and can be. 5, hangs out on a safe, or 6, hangs out on a safe and appropriate internet. 7, enjoys meals with vegetables. 8, attends a school that affirms and expands them. These are things that I had when I was growing up.
Look.
We got to go back.
No, look, because I'm writing, boy, because if you could knock those 8 things out, you would change the world.
For every child.
Yeah.
For every child.
How did you come up with those specific 8? Was there a methodology behind how you came up with that?
You know what? It ain't hard when you see the things that are happening in our community. These we did not come up with. This is our national office that looked at our affiliates across the country and what were the issues that were rising up to the top that affects Black and brown children. These are the things that resonated. And so as we look at these 8 essential outcomes, we craft and design our work around these essential outcomes. We share it with parents. We look at partnering with organizations that we can't do it all. That's the other thing. There's no one organization that can do it all. If we could, we wouldn't have the issues we got going on right now.
So I'm going to pull one out selfishly, which is the books and toys that reflect who they are. I know I'm a lover of books. Talked extensively about it on our show, but you also have another component that deals with just bringing books culturally relevant, right? We'll use the books culturally, but books that look like me, right? And giving those books to the kids that look like them. What? Tell us a little bit about that, and then maybe what's the connection and the synergy between what we read and what will be.
So messaging isn't very important. You know, what we tell our kids, what they hear from us on a regular basis, they can become.
Yeah.
If we tell them they dumb and they stupid, they will believe it. If we tell them they ugly,
they believe
they got nappy hair, they got whatever, they begin to believe it, because what you receive, you will believe.
That's true.
And so we started years ago with an event called Brunch of Books. And the reason I came up with that is we would give books to children. We would invite people to donate books to us. And what I found happening is people would bring us their old books. You know, the books their kids done read.
Dog eating pages.
And the pages are torn out. So you don't get the full story.
Stuck together.
The pages are don't look like us. You know, it's promoting what the majority race can do and how they're successful and what their lives are like. So I created this event 8 years ago, And what it was to do is to say, we want books that our children read, that they see themselves, and the messages in those books are positive, and they know they can do it. And so we started it. And instead of me getting donated books from these different organizations, we buy books. We get people to give us the money.
Right.
We buy the books. And we had local art authors that we purchased their books. And then we have an event. And the authors typically come and they'll read from their book and talk about why they wrote the book, and encourage the children that they can write their own. So we have to provide those opportunities. What I tell people now, and my daughter started this with her son, he'd read books where they live in Syracuse.
Right.
Every librarian knows him. So they know what he likes. And now he's 23. But growing up, he'd go to the library, every library in town. They'd pull books out already for him on the shelf to say, Philip, we think these are books that you will enjoy. But what she would do is when he read the books, when he finished, she said, okay, that's the end of the story for them. I want you to write another ending. So don't let it end there.
The inspiration,
right?
The imagination.
And guess what he's doing now?
What is he doing?
Writing.
See?
Getting published.
There's something. So let me also say, shout out to libraries. If we think about this kind of in that safe space, the basketball court, the library, those were safe spaces. But I can remember my third grade teacher, Miss Young, may her soul rest in peace, was the first that said to me, everything you could want to learn is in a book.
Absolutely.
That's all I needed. That, and I said I was competitive, right? That pizza, you read 100 books for the summer and get that little pizza. Man, listen, I want 2 pizzas. So I read 200 books for the summer, right? Finding those places to really show children that you are special, you're thought about, but your imagination is valuable.
Absolutely.
Your creativity is valuable. So I absolutely love that. The other piece is the birth. You mentioned that make sure that they're born healthy. What are some of the things, and we'll get into it throughout the next couple moments, but what's maybe one thing that's causing babies not to be born healthy? If you only had to pull one thing. And I know it's a lot. I know it's a laundry list, right? From stress to poor nutrition to environment. But if you just had to say, if we could tighten this one thing, we would get just a little bit better. What would that be? I know. It's deep. I know.
One thing. You called out stress. So I'm gonna that will lay there.
Okay.
But I think access to quality health.
Okay.
Early.
Yeah.
That's key.
Okay.
I mean, I can go through the list because there are a number of things, and it all works together. But some of us, there are things that are already predetermined with Black women. That we go through stress issues, and then you have doctors that say, "Oh, you're gonna be okay," because
we talking about
we strong,
right,
strong, and no matter what,
shake it off.
But clearly, stress is a key, access, but also I think there are other issues around taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
If you're carrying another life, what are the things that you need to do to take care of yourself? Appropriate rest and spacing between your children.
They say that that's an important one. Like, when you give birth, we're ready to get back outside. I'll put it like that.
Right. And you know what?
Babies out.
We back in the day, and people say, you don't have to do that. Yeah. We stayed in for a few weeks. Now everything has changed. Doctors give you your appointment to come back the next week. Back then we didn't do that. And we don't know the outcomes of some of that, what it will be. Right. But I know for me, I stayed in. But and longer if I could. If I had somebody doing the things that I needed to do, I'd stay home. But I think we people need support. Because sometimes we have to do it all.
Yeah. The weight of the world. When you said that, I was like, Black women carry the weight of the world. Then you're trying to bring a new life into that. Your body knows that. You know that you got to go back to work. We talk a little bit about the fourth trimester and that postpartum period. But we're rushing to go back to work. We're rushing to get back
because we don't have that. Sometimes we don't have a partner there that can support the whole family. And so the stress can come when you can't pay your bills. The stress can come when you don't have a place to live. The stress can come when you don't have adequate resources for your baby.
When those diapers are $75 a pack of three.
But see, I wash diapers.
Cloth diapers.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Was back.
Why don't you just adopt us all? Teach us the ways. I think that's the other piece. You had a community of support, but you also had I'll call them the village of mothers and grandmothers.
Absolutely.
That would help you with that baby.
Yes.
And I'm grateful, and I shared on this show before, when I had my daughter, I've only got one child. It was maybe like day 3 or 4. I was terrified to leave this, but like take my eyes off of her. So my mom came over and was like, sweetheart,
yeah,
go wash yourself. Go get in the shower. I'm gonna hold this baby right here. So you go get yourself together.
Yes.
But you need that village, just to say, you're all right. Nobody has it figured out. You need that village. So that finding that network of support. But you mentioned something else I want to touch on a little bit in terms of trust, right? So if we're going into these doctors and they're not believing our conditions, well, I'm a little sad. Well, sometimes it goes deeper than a little sad.
Absolutely.
Right? Or, and I brought up Serena. She had blood clots, right? And her doctor's like, So she's like a world-class athlete, and she's not being believed.
Right.
So how do we get that trust?
You know what? First of all, you need to be able to articulate. If your doctor's not listening, find a trusted person that you can articulate what's going on with you. I can tell you, part of the reason that I do a lot of work in reducing infant mortality, I had a baby that passed at 6 months. I was still carrying the baby. And what happened is I went into my doctor and I explained everything. They looking at me like, "Oh, you're all right. You're all right." But then I had to do an ultrasound, and I did that. And I asked the radiologist what the results were. Well, we can't tell you. You got to go. You got to go home and call your doctor. They'll tell you later. And that's when I found it out. They weren't listening to me. And so we have to. And sometimes, if your doctor not listening to you, maybe you need to be finding somebody else. We know our bodies.
Yes.
We know our bodies.
Yes.
And we need to, if you can't articulate it, share with somebody else that may be able to go with you and share. But document. When you are pregnant, document those things that you have questions about. Because a lot of times we go into the doctor and they say, "Well, how are you doing?" Because they don't know. You got to tell them.
Right.
So get your list. I go into the doctor now. And they ask me, I said, "Well, this is going on, and this is going on, this is going on." So that I don't forget. Because it's not always things that happen right before the appointment. It could be things that happen in the last few months.
Okay.
And you need to be able to share that when you go. And then find and get what the answers are. A lot of times what they do is give you that after office report. So you know the things that they've said, and if they want you to do a follow-up or go see a specialist or what have you. But I think really knowing your body, documenting those things, you don't have to wait till the appointment either.
Right. And now with technology, you can
go online. And I have a fairly new doctor, and I just tell her when I go into the office, I sent you an email. What's the issue?
I love that. So when we come back, we will talk about the technology and how we use that. Let me do a shameless plug that Outreach Community Health Centers does have an OB team that's ready to serve, culturally competent, led by a Black woman. So again, some of those conditions that we know are out there, some of those challenges we know exist. we got you. You can schedule an appointment, 414-727-6320. When we come back, more with Wanda Montgomery. I feel like I should be saying Dr. Wanda Montgomery, but we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. She is with Black Child Development Institute, Wisconsin, and just a powerhouse living legend in our community. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Center. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. I am Ebony SsALI, joined in the studio today by the illustrious Wanda Montgomery. Illustrious, the board president emeritus of Black Child Development Institute, Wisconsin, Wanda Montgomery, living legend. But and through your connection, let me not say but, through your connection, your dedication to making sure that Black babies grow up healthy and well in this city, you've created a career for yourself, right?
Absolutely.
And this is what you do. There's one thing I say, I love people who are experts and have dedicated their lives to a purpose, right? So thank you for all that you do. If I haven't said it before, thank you for all that you do. So when we think about just everyday folks, right? Sometimes people think that they can't be impactful because they don't have a title, or they think they can't be a part of the movement because they're not in a particular position. But everybody can contribute to the health and wellness of our Black babies. So what can just normal people, everyday folks listening in, sitting at home, getting ready for work, what can they do to support better outcomes for Black babies in the city?
I think one thing that people can do is there are a plethora of organizations in this city that work to advance the quality of life of Black children and their families. Some people don't listen to the radio.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They don't watch TV, not for programming like this.
Right.
But we are all connected with someone that either is pregnant or has small children. How can we support them? How can we become the connector to say, did you know about this program? Did you know about that? Here's some information. Sometimes we are out and we hear it, we see it, pick it up. Give it to somebody, because you may be that trusted voice, that trusted messenger that they believe, and they know that you love them and care about them. And so then they will take advantage of that information. I think making sure that you connect with an organization, Black Child Development Institute is one.
How do we find you? How do we find you?
We have a website. We got a Facebook page, Black Child Development Wisconsin. You can Google us. You can Google my name. Our hashtag is #Saving Black Babies. You can even Google that.
Okay.
But you will find the things that we do. We don't necessarily do the work in terms of direct service, but we connect parents to resources. We provide resources. We do some training. We are a 501c3 organization, so we can accept donations, and everything adds up. You know, you may think, I don't have $100. Give 20.
Right.
Give up that Starbucks one day.
Now we're not doing that.
Well, I see your cup.
Right.
Because Starbucks getting ready to go up. You know that.
I do.
Yeah. But I think, too, we are hosting an event on May 1st.
Okay. Tell me about that.
Our gala. And one of the essential elements that we are not elements, outcome, I don't know why I want to say elements, but outcomes is literacy. Okay. So the theme of this year will be building literacy, empowering futures. We know if our children can read and comprehend at early ages, they can create their future by knowing, because it takes reading to do math, takes reading to explore other avenues. So we want our children to read early. Parents can be reading to them while they're
in the womb.
You got it. But that event is May 1st. It will be at the Hilton. Our speaker will be Maya Smart, who is the
Maya Smart?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about her.
Maya Smart is an author. She's written 2 books now, and the second one will be released at our gala. But they are books and tools for parents to have tips on what they can do to encourage their children and support them in reading and writing. Her husband, the Marquette basketball coach, Shaka Smart, will be there. So we invite you to come. And if you have a conflict, you can't be there. The tickets are $150. But if you want to give toward a ticket for somebody else, if you want to support a parent and a child to come, do that. invest in their future, because sometimes we invest in the games
and everything
and
else, purses and shoes and carrying on.
Well, I ain't getting into all of that. You said it, but it's the truth. Yeah. We do what we believe, what we want to do, and we invest in what becomes valuable to us. But our Black children,
they've got
valuable.
To be valuable. They've got to be valuable.
we can't say every time we see one that gets shot and killed, or that gets abused by a family or whatever. We can't say, oh, what? How can we make a difference?
They're all our babies. So
That's right.
We have to look at
we are a village.
Yeah, we are. So look, like I joke on the show regularly, the big sis Ebony, little sis Ebony, auntie, cousin, we're all connected. And the growth or lack thereof of these children will directly affect us. I promise you that. And if you can't see how it's connected, think about our workforce. Think about who's going to take care of us as we become.
I'm telling you,
the engineers, the people fixing our roads, the folks working at City Hall, that will be passed to a new generation. So let's set them up for absolute success. So I love that. I will make sure that after the show, I put links up to that event. So if you didn't get a chance to capture it all, that you can go to the website and look for that information. Wanda, tell me this, for people that might be expecting right now, or have somebody in their immediate family that is pregnant or just gave birth, what's one piece of encouragement that you would give them? Because, I will tell you, growing up, I was pregnant at the time, working in my church. And sometimes the church mother would just give me a little drop of something that would just help me. Or, just folks in the neighborhood. So, yes, the baby showers are nice. But, man, showers of wisdom that you get. I know my baby shower, they did a booklet. So everybody gave one piece of advice they would give me, and we bound it up and put it into a book. Came in handy. What's one thing you would share with expectant moms as an encouragement?
So that people understand, my foundation is the church.
Okay.
I was just elevated on Sunday to minister.
Minister, and Dr. Reverend
Wanda Montgomery. Titles are titles. But service is service. Yeah. And so the one thing that I will say is, years ago, I got a couple of books, and this ain't the Bible, but
it's Bible adjacent.
And there you go. By Mona Lake Jones.
Okay.
And the poem talked about being a Black mother.
Okay.
But the theme that kept going through it, and I will share this, being the mother of a Black child, it ain't no easy thing. You got to call on Jesus and listen to the angels sing.
Look,
that's my advice.
I'm right.
I needed help, and sometimes it wasn't the woman across the room. It was calling on the Most High.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, and as the kids grow, I know we talked about and opened up the show with just kind of us through those teenage years, but I truly believe that the same elements that it takes for you to raise that baby toddler, they need you just as much as teenage.
Absolutely.
Right?
And adults. My baby is 43.
Look.
And they call me and say, Mama, what about?
Yeah.
So you never stop being mama.
Ever.
And grandmama.
Ever.
And so we need people that are seasoned and that they can share with you their experience to keep you from going down some paths that they know are dangerous.
Look, and they know it. So to the women that are providing that wisdom, thank you. I know as we get ready to celebrate Mother's Day, folks have moms, they've lost their moms, mom figures that step up. Let's take a moment to just honor the concept of motherhood.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes even if, you're not a mom, you have a motherly presence to someone. So don't negate that. And just take a moment to celebrate the village moms. I like to also add in there, I call them fairy godmothers, because some women just come out of nowhere
and
just do, right? It's like they got all the glitter and just come into your life and move it in a better way. So to you all women who just are doing it, the fairy godmothers, the mamas, grandmamas, baby mamas, everybody, we are grateful. And it will take all of us to get these babies to quality health. Anything else you want to share? You just came in like a fairy godmother, giving us all this wisdom and knowledge.
We are mothers of that and more, and it's not always biological.
Right.
If you have walked in that role, claim it. And I have a project, and you know about it, that I started years ago, and it's coming to fruition.
Ooh, I love it.
And it's called Black Mamas Rock.
Look, I will say,
and we do.
I will say, I am so proud. I'm so esteemed of just you, your life, your calling, your purpose, how you walk in it. There are some people that, you know, we see them all the time. They get the accolades all the time. And then there are people that do the work. They get accolades too, but they're there doing the work. And when it comes to babies, when it comes to children, you are that. You are that. So you've dedicated your life to service with leading Brown Deer. So let me get a little applause. If you didn't know, Wanda Montgomery is the village president of Brown Deer. So she's running all of that. Okay. She retired from Children's, so the health and wellness of babies. You were the director of community partnerships. I know you do a lot of work with the links, right?
Yes.
She is just that woman. So where can they find you? Are you on LinkedIn? Can people connect with you to help support?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Okay.
I'm on BCDI's website. I'm in the paper. I'm in the news. Just Google my name. And I don't be, and I tell people, because they like, you always in the paper. I'm like, well, I didn't put myself in it.
Doing the work.
Somebody
Doing the work. Listen, do it. And again, those are the kind of people I love, just out doing the work. So I will make sure that there are links up on our website to connect you directly to the work that Wanda is doing. Wanda, thank you for coming in and chatting with us about these
Well,
babies.
thank you for the invitation. And I hope that you have a fantastic birthday. I heard all the stuff you do. Get your teeth done and all this.
Listen,
wonderful.
And check your credit, because we grown over here.
Yeah, because you don't need no surprises.
Listen, and we'll talk about that in the next part of the show. I did get a surprise. Somebody's out here trying to buy what did they buy this time? They bought a snowboard.
Oh.
Now Ebony ain't out in no snow.
For you?
Yeah. No. On my credit card.
Oh no.
They went and bought a quite hefty snowboard. So I had to run that in. So if you're celebrating a birthday coming up, get your teeth clean, get an annual, and check your credit score, check your credit report. Right. And listen, and buy a book for a baby. Can I challenge can I challenge everybody out there in this season, when we're thinking of spring, when we're thinking renewal? Do me a favor for my birthday. I want you to go connect with Wanda's organization, and I want you to buy a book for a kid. And as you do that, I want you to think about the 8-year-old Ebony who was like, I got books on deck. I'm at the library. You're nurturing that for somebody else.
And let me just say this, and I know you're getting ready to go to a break, but my daughter, we started her reading early. All of our kids. The one who has the son that was going to the library, she is now the dean of the School of Education at UW-Madison. The foundation, you start them early.
Start them early, reading.
And the possibilities are limitless.
I tell you, even now, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I got a hashtag what I'm reading. It always connects, So when we come back, we're going to keep this theme of babies, and we're going to talk about the immunizations the babies need to get. And again, how we keep them healthy. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show. This is a movement. Thank you, Wanda Montgomery.
Thank you.
Black Child Development Institute, Wisconsin. We appreciate you. We will be right back.
OV, the voice.
Greetings and good morning. Welcome back to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, this is a movement dedicated to bringing our communities together through wellness, keeping your heart pumping with positivity. In the studio, at this point, she just has to co-host the show with me. She's just got to bring it home. Dr. French is back with us. Can I get some applause for Dr. French?
Oh.
I mean, because I'm gonna tell you, yes, she is phenomenal. If you listen in to the previous shows, you know that Dr. French is our OB GYN at Outreach and is just a phenomenal spirit. So I say, if you are expecting or plan to be expecting, connect with us 414-727-6320. Get with Dr. French, right? And just get that care, get that support from day one. Don't wait.
Say that again, day one.
Day one. As
Day
soon as
one.
you take that test and you're like, okay, here comes baby. It's time to make that appointment. So get in. And you're going to be with them throughout the entire pregnancy, right?
Yes.
You're going to
And
walk them through.
postpartum.
And postpartum.
Yeah.
So just give us a quick intro of who you are. If, again, they've been living under a rock, they're just tuning in.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
Right. Tell us a little bit about you, Dr. French.
Of course. So I'm originally born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So been all over for my medical training, including Nashville, Tennessee, and Buffalo. And then in 2019, decided to move back closer to my family and have been at Outreach since then. So been working on community health initiatives and really excited to be here with you. And I heard it's your birthday week.
It's my birthday week. Got a little leather on for the birthday week. No, but and birthday boots. Listen, it's cold. That's because it's cold. Wisconsin,
Yes, it is cold,
Milwaukee, do better.
Yes.
We should be having flowers and blooms.
But we are still in our winter coats in April.
I'm just saying, I scraped ice off the car this morning. I was hot with it. I'm like, gloves, Lord. In April, gloves. But we won't complain. The flowers will bloom. But let's get back into this health, because I've been wild this morning, Dr. French. They have to keep me back on task. Okay. This is Black Maternal Health Month. It's also Public Health Month. And I know you dabble a little bit in the public health, right? Yes. And when I say dabble, I'm adding levity. She just completed another degree, right?
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that and what sparked your passion for getting another degree.
Another degree. So during the pandemic, I decided to go back for my master's in public health.
Okay.
And the reason for that decision was I saw the disparities facing our community, and I wanted to be involved in actually fighting those disparities. So I thought the best route would be to have additional educational background on how to, form community health initiatives to tackle the health issues facing Milwaukee.
So tell me, like, when we look at pregnancy across the board, right? Yeah. I know that each group kind of is concerned with something different when it comes to bringing healthy babies into the world. But let's just speak specifically Black mamas. Why is Black maternal health even a thing? Why is it critical in this time?
It's so critical because the disparities are so great.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to be that way. So Black women are 3 times more likely to have a pregnancy-related death than white women.
3 times?
3 times. And
My
that
goodness.
statistic still holds if you take out socioeconomic factors. So a Black college graduate will have less, poor outcomes than say
someone who has 5 degrees, right?
So it's definitely a critical issue that we need to address in the United States.
Yeah, I agree. So a mom comes in, she's meeting with you. How do you build that trust? We talked a lot with Wanda just about, the trust of doctors not listening.
Mhm.
How do you bring trust to those patients that you see? And just, first of all, I know that you know your stuff, right? I know that. But how do you share that so that you build that trust with new mamas?
It's definitely about building a relationship with the patient and addressing any barriers that they might be facing, whether that be childcare, transportation. It's also critical to have education at the forefront of the visits, because sometimes I've been told, oh, I was recommended that, but they didn't explain why.
Why?
So making sure you go into the why and um, really doing your best to make sure that your patients have the follow-up that they need to, because sometimes patients are lost to follow up, whether that be because they have difficulties getting to their appointments. So it's really building a team effort too, because we have behavioral health psychologists at outreach too, who can address history of anxiety, depression. And then we also have a prenatal care coordinator who can help assist with some of those transportation issues, baby supplies, things. We really want to provide support, and support builds trust.
Yeah. Because I will say, bringing a life into the world has a lot of not only physical challenges, but there's like an emotional, there's a mental component. So like, I call it, there's like a burden of organization. There's a mental load, right? So I was trying to explain this to the hubby the other day. The food doesn't appear in the fridge. Somebody has to think about what food, what do we have, what ingredients do we have, what are we trying to make, and that's a mental load. So when you think about a new mama, it's like, I got to make sure I get to the appointment, remember what they say, eat healthy, get rest, plus everything that's going on at work. You do need that village. So I think it's cool to know there's people there that can help, coordinate the diapers, that can help coordinate if you want to breastfeed, and just how to make that transition happen. And it is folks that care. So that makes me feel good. Listen, if you are a soon-to-be mom, 414-727-6320 is the number. Go ahead and call, schedule an appointment with Dr. French. Now,
and we do have late hours, so we have 9 to 6.
So listen, if you get off work about 4 and you're like, oh, I'm rushing,
traffic.
Call, schedule an appointment. Let me step back before you become the mom. So before you are pregnant or with child, you get the practice. If you watch it on YouTube, you get the practice of becoming a mama. So in that practice, that the exercise of bringing children into the world, we talked a little bit earlier about the role of testing for STDs, STIs, right? Making sure everything is working. How important is just regular screening for STIs if you're going to be outside in these streets? Is that important?
That's extremely important.
Okay, why is it important? Because folks don't be thinking it's important.
One, you want to make sure you take care of yourself, because you only got one you at the end of the day.
Say that for me again.
You only got one you.
That's it.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
At the end of the day. So STDs, especially if they go untreated, like gonorrhea and chlamydia, can affect your future fertility, because if it's not treated, it can affect scarring in the fallopian tubes.
Okay.
And that can prevent the egg and the sperm from meeting in the future. It also can lead to conditions where you might be hospitalized because you develop a severe infection. So that's called PID, and PID stands for.
Now, see, you give me these acronyms.
I was following up.
Let me write this down. Okay, what is that? What is PID?
So that's pelvic inflammatory disease.
Okay.
So people who are affected will develop fevers, severe pelvic pain, and they'll need actually IV antibiotics instead of just oral.
Listen, Go get, can they get tested at Outreach?
They could get tested out Outreach.
So
yep.
414
We said 9 to 6.
9 to 6. Come in, get your annual. But also, if you are going to be outside, if you are going to be sexually active, please make it a point, make it your business. Just as you're going to be as responsible with the emotions and the things that come along with sexual intercourse, make sure that you are getting yourself tested. I like to say early and often because, it's important. We are here with Dr. Hillary French. She is giving us the inside out around Black maternal health, some of those connections you need to be making with your OB and your gynecologist. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Not just a show, it is a movement. I'm EBONY SsALI. We'll be right back.
AURN News. I'm Jamie Jackson. If you've noticed higher prices at the pump, you're not alone. Gasoline prices nationwide have climbed significantly in the past month, leaving many drivers feeling squeezed as inflation worries persist and President Trump's tariff war continues. Now, according to AAA, the national average for regular gasoline is now $3.22 per gallon, up from $3.08 just a month ago. Prices vary widely across states. In Texas, drivers are paying around $2.82 per gallon, while in Pennsylvania, the average has reached $3.38. California continues to see some of the highest prices, now nearing $5 at $4.92 per gallon. AAA says
Greetings and welcome back to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. Get on up. It's Friday. Get on up. It's not the end of the month yet. It feels like it is. But April is all the things. April is National Volunteer Month, National Public Health Week, Infant Immunization Week, Medicaid Awareness Month, Sexually Transmitted Diseases Awareness Week, and Black Maternal Health Month. So we're gonna talk about a little bit more about these STIs because listen, I heard that Milwaukee was a hot spot, and that's all that I needed to know about the things that I needed to know. Which means I'm saying this in jest, and that's to bring you in. I want you to feel like this is a safe space to talk about it. You should be getting tested. Period. If you are going to be sexually active and you're grown, like, and this is a conversation. So, mom, if you're listening, know that I heard this when you said it. If you're gonna be grown, be grown. Be responsible.
Be
right?
responsible.
So if you're
yes.
gonna be out here and being sexually active, take the additional step to make sure that you are being safe and ensure the safety of others. So that's my PSA. Let me step down off my soapbox and say, who should be getting screened? Because we're saying if you're sexually active, but what does that actually look like? And are there any guidelines based on age or how sexually active you are?
So there are recommendations that if you're under the age of 25 and
Okay.
sexually active, you should be screened at least once a year.
At least.
At least.
At least.
And then if you are over the age of 25 and have certain risk factors, then you should also be screened. So those risk factors would be multiple partners,
Okay.
or a new partner, or if you have a history of a STI in the past.
Listen, if you're gonna be outside, right, and you know yourself, and you know that 25 is a great time to be alive. It really is. You got
in the summer.
Throw this out there.
Yeah.
Because we need to be mindful of this as well.
Okay.
I'm told that one of the more higher rates
oh my God, I know exactly where this is
sexually
going.
transmitted diseases are in senior living centers and things of that nature, nursing homes, things of that nature. So, have your mom and them checked out,
I have a standing rule, so I'm just gonna share with y'all.
What are you laughing about, Jermaine?
Let me tell you something, because I love y'all and I feel like we're family. Now, let me tell you the agreement that I have. When I turn 80, okay, I've already told my husband this. This is what's about to. I'm breaking all the way bad. Okay, when I turn 80, I'm gonna go spend my little Social Security check on little hot toddy, about 20-something-year-old. Okay, I'm gonna be like, baby, come put my teeth in, and it's going down. So to your point, yes. I found out why nursing homes have some of the highest rates of STIs. Because y'all grandmas out there in the streets. You don't have to worry about pregnancy. You don't have to worry about those things. And you have lived your life. So please check on grandma.
I think
Please
that's a very
mom.
important point because one of the reasons why is at that age, you don't have to worry about pregnancy. So you're not necessarily thinking about condoms. But with STIs still being very prevalent, it's important that everybody protects themselves.
So let me just ask, Debo, why did you bring that specific topic?
Well, no, you guys were talking about 25 and, ages where you should be checked, but we didn't want to leave grandma and them out.
Right.
No, thank you so much for bringing that up. That's a very important point.
Oh,
So if
and sometimes it may explain some of the health issues they may be having that you're not even thinking that she might be, getting down over there at the joint. And, because I know it causes it untreated, it could lead to other things. Couldn't it, doctor?
Yes. Especially, like I said, mentioned before, the pelvic inflammatory disease where people can get have bacteria in their blood and
like
become
sepsis,
exactly, and be very, very sick. So another one too, especially here in Milwaukee, especially during the pandemic, it was syphilis. So syphilis
is still out in these streets.
So people think, when they hear syphilis, they think that, that's something in the past. But no, it's very real, and it actually kind of exploded there in the pandemic. It has dropped down since then, but please make sure, if you are active and have some of these risk factors, to please get your testing.
So I know back in the day, people would say, well, he don't look like he got, well, she don't look like she got. Can you have a STI and not have any symptoms?
Absolutely. So
Okay.
it's really important.
Yeah, you could be a carrier.
Yeah. to
Get
scabies.
And you can get tested at
What
outreach,
what
right,
is-
Ebony?
Not scabies.
What is scabies, doctor?
So scabies is when it's like skin to skin transmission.
It's a skin.
Skin, and you'll have itching, skin, almost like scabies can be like in the fingers.
Ugh.
Yeah. So or like on the hands. So definitely want to be mindful of like.
As she looks at my hands, no, I'm good, Doc. No, we
definitely
good. No, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good over here. No. But again, I know that I jest, and I never want anyone listening to think that I'm making light of this. What I'm saying is this should be so ingrained into who you are and taking care of your health and wellness that it's just like brushing your teeth and getting a checkup that way. You should be going in and making sure you understand how your body is working and regularly. Again, if we can look at anything that's happening in our community, polio is back, measles are back, syphilis is back. It takes, how long does it take? Let me ask that. So if I come in and schedule my appointment to get tested, screened, how long is that appointment?
So it can be like 15 or 20 minutes, not that long at all.
So no excuses. Now, if we bring this back into new moms, I know that it's was part of my initial checkup when I first found out I was pregnant, right? They give you a whole panel of testing. Do they still do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you definitely get a full panel, and that will include HIV, syphilis, Hep C, and Hep B, and what also includes gonorrhea, chlamydia, and trichomonas.
Okay, so we're making sure these new moms are creating safe havens for babies to grow up, even starting in the womb. So as we talk about Black moms, we talk about the fourth trimester. We share that postpartum is a thing. Black women don't get maybe the screening, the attention that most other demographics do get. We talked about the trust. How do we get families and partners involved in the care that should come around new babies, new moms?
I think by first having a support person from the family to come to the appointments with the pregnant mom, just because having an additional support system, and sometimes like when you're at an appointment, you might not remember everything. So having that person to be like, oh, what did they say again? And what do you think about that? I think that's really important, and making sure that they know what resources are available so they can best help that mama in their pregnancy and after the pregnancy.
Okay. So listen, again, you can make an appointment with Dr. French, 414-727-6320. If you know someone that is planning a birth, is pregnant right now, wants that culturally competent touch, wants someone that understands all of the challenges that can come along with that, and creating that support system, give Dr. French a call. She's the bomb, like for real. And our goal is to make sure that we're delivering information on this show that is relevant, that is culturally competent. We deliver it in a fun way. So hopefully these things are not challenging. They're not intimidating, but all of that is important. And so just know that we got you. Outreach Community Health Centers has got you. Dr. Hillary French has got you. And you can make that appointment again, 414-727-6320. I know that we've chatted on this show about endometriosis. We've chatted on this show about cervical cancer, right? All the things. Can I make an appointment for all of the screening? So can I add cervical cancer when I come in to get my STI screening?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And I don't know if those two are connected, but it's good to know that you should have a notebook with all the things in it about, again, your body, your machine. It's yours. You get one. Dr. French said you get one body. So take care of it. Let me ask you this question. If you could say, what's one thing that you try to make sure that all new moms know that come in and visit you? You want to give some of that wisdom. Wanda shared with us a little earlier, just the token of wisdom with you've got this village, you've got a group of people that are surrounding you. But from the clinician side, what's maybe one thing you wish women in general knew about taking care of themselves, but especially new mamas?
I think for new mamas, especially, is to know, go over what to expect, especially in each trimester. The reason for that being is Black women are at risk for preterm labor.
Yes.
And they found that Black women who experienced symptoms did not necessarily know that those were symptoms of preterm labor. So making sure that my patients are aware of important signs at which they might need to seek emergent care.
So maybe give me one or two of those signs.
Yeah,
Let me get my pen. Okay. What's
so,
one or two things I should be on the lookout for?
So any abnormal leaking of fluid, any painful contractions like tightening of the abdomen, but that's not going away because, as we progress in pregnancy, you can have what they call, false contractions or Braxton Hicks contractions. Lower persistent back pain can also be a sign of preterm labor.
Okay. And those areas of comfort that you look for, like being pregnant. And again, y'all, I'm telling y'all this, I'm trying to recall my memory. My daughter is 20. So it's been a minute, but what I remember is the lower back pain, deadly. Okay. To this day, I still have at minimum, y'all. I call it the fort, right? But as I was pregnant, I would have like 20 pillows. And I made a little fort for my belly to stick through because I'm a stomach sleeper, right? And so to this day, I have like 20 pillows around just to feel comfortable. That was one of the things that kind of took the pressure off of the back. But as we get these physical changes in pregnancy, we know to look out for leaking fluid. Is there a level of pain? Like, how do we measure that? Because pain is so subjective, right? My feet hurt, my legs hurt, everything hurt, my eyelids hurt. How do we know what's kind of normal and what's cause for concern?
One thing is anything kind of different from the baseline, like you can have like the kind of the muscle aches and pains of pregnancy, but anything that's kind of making you catch your breath, anything that is affecting your daily activities, that's a sign to get checked. And you know, sometimes it could be nothing, and we want to make sure, hey, this is nothing, as opposed to, well, I'm not really sure, and then actually being something in a condition where now you might, or your baby might be in danger.
So I won't get on your nerves if I keep, messaging in my chart or asking all the questions. Doctors want us to do that, right?
That's why we're here.
Okay, that's what I thought. But sometimes I like to make sure I'm closing the gap for the people. Mental health.
Oh, so important.
In pregnancy. Yeah. Okay, listen. Again, I'm gonna call on my own. I would cry at the drop of a hat. It would be like the wind would blow, and I'd be like, the wind is blowing, and I can't take it. So I ended up getting a cat. And there were days where I would just look at this cat. The cat would look at me, and we're both like, we don't know. And then I would just cry for no reason, right? The mental health during pregnancy is huge. Are there maybe one or two things that you want mamas to look out for?
Yes. So if they're having symptoms to the point where they're not able to go to work, or if they're feeling guilty and not able to take care of their other children, those are all warning signs for us that we need to get that person connected to a behavioral health specialist as soon as possible.
Okay. So 414-727-6320 is the number to call. Get that care appointment with Dr. French, but also get connected to some of those behavioral health issues, therapy, and knowing that you have a village that's there. I think if there's a running theme throughout this show, is that None of us are doing it alone, and we don't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
So everything is built for your success. With that, let me just share just a couple quick notes about immunizations, right? So as we talk about babies, we talk about some of these shots that they get. I just very briefly want to say measles is back, y'all. Measles is back. And if you're going to be flying anywhere this summer, if you're going to be on vacation anywhere this summer, know that measles is highly contagious. When I get on a plane this weekend, I was fully masked up and did not care who saw
Who
and
was
had an
looking at-
opinion
yeah.
about it. I do not care because Dr. French told me I got one me and I got to take care of that. So measles is back, highly contagious. We've got 2 deaths coming out of Texas. One, I think there's one unconfirmed connection, but there was a death in New Mexico. So we all know that the pandemic has showed us in a couple days, these diseases that are highly contagious can go everywhere. So if you are a new mama and you got that baby that's under 6 months, there are vaccinations that baby should have had. But again, no judgment. So outreach community health centers will get you caught up with those doses, and we have full well child checks. And we just renovated 2 of our exam rooms, more photos to come, but to make it a little less intimidating for the babies.
Oh,
So
and I've seen the rooms and they're pretty awesome.
They are pretty.
There's like the under the sea one,
right, and the space one. So I love a good space room. If you are watching on YouTube too, I know we launched this new little program. So I'll put this up here, Debo. I don't know if you can zoom in on it, but we're trying to make it fun for the babies. So we've got some resources, some fun giveaways for kids that come in. Because I do remember as a kid too, I wasn't intimidated to go to the doctor. Okay. Dr. Ascot, my pediatrician, was the bomb, right? And made it fun. So we do the same for you, regardless of your ability to pay. Regardless of what your insurance coverage is, you can make an appointment to come in and see Dr. French. You can make that appointment to come in and connect with our pediatricians so that your babies have the best shot. Because listen, it's a lot going on from birth to getting these babies 18. And then even then, that's when you really hit the streets right out. That's when all the knowledge that you've learned comes to fruition. So I think if you take nothing else away from this show today, with all the fun, with all the insights from Dr. Hillary French and with Wanda Montgomery, is that we need to create these safe spaces, right? We need to create these environments where people feel comfortable, and if something is wrong, to speak up.
Yes.
And if you know a pregnant mom that's in your circle, give her a little bit of extra support, give her a little bit of extra comfort, because Lord knows it's a lot going on outside.
It's a lot.
I don't even watch the news in the morning anymore because I'm just like, at what point? You
You got to protect your
protect your
peace.
Protect your peace. So I do that very well. No stranger to this show. I like to say that sleep will get slept. I will be comfortable. If it's 2 a.m., call Jesus or call the police. But protect your peace in this space, but also be a safe space for somebody else. I think that that's important. How do you feel about like new moms and just the journaling piece? I know we haven't really touched on that, but do you support kind of journaling for new moms?
Absolutely, because one, you can help alleviate stress, and then 2, then you have a memory that you can go over with your little one once they're a little bit older. And that could be a really nice moment to share.
Like, girl, you was kicking my butt on this night.
Maybe not share everything.
Right, you were kicking my little butt. I will say, at the time when I was pregnant, my daughter loved Flaming Hots. I would eat a flame. Listen, that was my only craving. Bags of Flaming Hot, like family size bag. Girl, it is 8:00 in the morning. And some chocolate milk, right?
Wait, you dip it in the chocolate?
No.
Just separately. Okay.
But you can't dip them in some sour cream. You ain't hear that from me. I don't know why it works, but it works. So those food cravings, but my daughter, like, in the belly, loved the Flaming Hots, and I would get her and she'd be like, yes. Sit it all down. So support moms. The journaling is the thing. Once they're here though, creating that environment where they can grow up is important. Get your vaccinations, right? I'm not even gonna look at you because there's no reason why we have measles back. That is unacceptable.
And making sure mamas get to their postpartum visits, I think.
Mamas, okay. Is there one thing we can do besides like yell at them to make sure that they come to all follow-up? Because we want to take a softer approach. You don't want to yell at them.
We definitely want to still like have that trust. So, you know, with mamas and trying to get them back, it can be hard, you know, because they have a new little one. And you know, sometimes we could do telehealth appointments. Just to, you know,
no excuses.
No
excuses. Outreaches is living in the land of no excuse. So you can do telehealth, but those follow-up appointments are just as important as the ones in the beginning.
One of the things is a lot of those pregnancy-related deaths happen after the baby's born.
Got you. So more to come. We'll make sure that we put all the resources from the show today on the website. So give me just a little bit to make sure that that's added to the show. The next show, Friday, April 25th, right here, we'll talk National Infant Immunization Week. So we'll go down month by month what those immunizations should be, how to get caught up if you're not there already. Make sure you follow us on all of your social media platforms at Community Heartbeat Radio Show. We are here to serve you. Make sure you also follow Outreach Community Health Centers on all of your social platforms. Dr. Hillary French, thank you so very much for coming on back.
It's always a pleasure.
We might have to co-host.
We might have to.
We just might. Right out. Thank you for indulging my foolishness. As always, I sure appreciate it.
Time for hot flame Cheetos.
Hot flame Cheetos. Lincoln Park. It raised me. It made me who I am. So did the books. Debo, thank you for making us look good.
Yes,
hey, to everyone out in YouTube land, we appreciate you for tuning in. You are listening to Community Heartbeat, presented by Outreach Community Health Centers. We'll see you back in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.